Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to keep you posted on the transfer market. And today, guys, we have to return on the story of the day, the story of the last 24 hours, Real Madrid and Michael Olise. Because it's him, it's the name of the secret star wanted by Florentino Perez. But why denying? What happened? What's the story behind this? What about the other names? Let's jump into it together. And here we go, guys. Always updates for you, always hear about the transfer window. As you know, every single day there are many stories, many updates. And today it's time to discuss about this dream signing, this Galactico mentioned by Florentino Perez. Yesterday, in the interview with Orizzonte, Florentino Perez said, when asked about players up front, he said, I'm going to launch a bid on Tuesday, 150 million euros, a club record bid for Real Madrid, could be the most expensive player in the whole history of Real Madrid. Then when he was asked, but he's not going to be a player up front, because you have Kylian Mbappé, you have Vinicius, you have all the others, the answer from Florentino Perez says very clearly, it's never enough at Real Madrid with quality offensive players. And now we can confirm that Real Madrid on Tuesday are expected to bid for Michael Olise. Yes, because yesterday during the TV show, Florentino Perez started excluding some names, no to Haaland, no to Kane. Then he said he's not a Premier League player. Then he was asked about Michael Olise. The first name was asked Florentino Perez about was Michael Olise. But the answer coming from Florentino Perez was great player, but no, it's not him. Then sources internally at Real Madrid guaranteed that Florentino was bluffing. Florentino didn't want to mention the name before having a direct conversation with the club. Florentino didn't want to say anything in public, not to act like the other candidate, Enrique Riquelme. 24 hours before, Riquelme was presenting Erling Haaland the shirt and announcing Erling Haaland as a signing for his Real Madrid potential project. Then the answer was very clear from father, agent, Man City, all very upset and denying the story. Florentino didn't want to mention any names. He denied about Michael Olise, but in behind the scenes, the intention of Real Madrid president is to launch a record club bid, 150 million euros for Michael Olise. This is going to be the Real Madrid Bomba. Now, what's going to happen? First of all, why? Because Florentino Perez is convinced that for the system Jose Mourinho wants to use at Real Madrid, to add a player like Michael Olise could be really, really important. Then, Florentino believes that extra quality up front can help to develop also with Mbappé, Vinicius and Olise. The feeling of Florentino Perez is that Real Madrid would be the best attack in the world. This is what Florentino feels. And then a Galactico, he fell in love with Michael Olise during Bayern against Real Madrid games in Champions League this season. Florentino, from what people close to him say, literally fell in love with the player, with the quality, with the attitude, with the quantity of quality he's bringing to the squad. Because we saw Olise this season doing fantastic in terms of assists, in terms of goals, always very relaxed. Florentino loves this kind of magic attitude of Michael Olise. And so he wants to try to go all in and put 150 million euros on the table for Michael Olise. Let's see what's going to happen there, because it's going to be obviously not an easy one. Don't forget that just a few weeks ago, it was May, Hoeneß, who is probably the most important person together with Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, the two men who control basically everything at Bayern. Hoeneß, who is always really strong also when he speaks to the media, when asked about Jose Mourinho going, probably you remember, to the DFB Pokal, the German Cup final between Bayern and Stuttgart, Mourinho was in the stands, and the answer from Hoeneß on Michael Olise was Mourinho can put 2 eyes, but even 5 eyes on Michael Olise. Olise is going nowhere. We will not sell Olise, not even for 200 million euros. This is what Hoeneß said. But now Real Madrid want to test the attitude of Bayern, and the expectation is for Real Madrid to bid on Tuesday for Michael Olise. This is the feeling at the club, this is the feeling internally. Then, let's see what's going to happen. Again, on Bayern side, he's considered a super important player. Every single statement by Hoeneß, by all the others, including the director Max Eberl. They always say that Olise is untouchable, Olise is a crucial part of the squad, but now Real Madrid want to arrive with a record proposal, more than Eden Hazard, 121 million euros, more than Cristiano Ronaldo, close to 100 million euros. Real Madrid are prepared to break the bank and try to get Michael Olise. It's going to be, obviously, a very interesting week to understand what's going to happen there. Then, important to say, many of you asking, why not Vitinha, why not João Neves? These are two players who absolutely remain in Florentino Perez's dream list. These are two players that Florentino Perez loves. These are two Portuguese players, and Jose Mourinho as well loves them. So who doesn't love João Neves and Vitinha? But at the moment, the understanding is that the door from Paris Saint-Germain for any exit of these players is not linked to money. Simply, Paris Saint-Germain don't want to sell these players. Paris Saint-Germain want to go with almost the same squad. Maybe Gonzalo Ramos will leave, Chemalier can leave, Kangeli can leave, but then adding few players. But in general, the starting 11 very similar to what they have right now. Also into next season, try to win the Champions League again, make something historical, 3 Champions Leagues in a row. This is the mission at Paris Saint-Germain. So they will be trying this. So for Real Madrid, it could be very difficult to tempt Paris Saint-Germain this summer, for Vitinha or for João Neves. Right after the final against Arsenal, João Neves goes to the press and says, we go for the third one next season. So the message from the player is clear. Vitinha for Paris Saint-Germain, and when I say Paris Saint-Germain, it's Luis Enrique the coach, Luis Campos the director, who signed Vitinha when no one was believing in Vitinha. Remember, he was at Porto, before at Wolves, no one was expecting Vitinha to become a top player. Luis Campos went there and signed the boy. And also the chairman, the president, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, in love with Vitinha and convinced about how Vitinha is important for Paris Saint-Germain. It's very difficult to go there and try to strike an agreement for players like Vitinha or João Neves. For sure, Florentino Perez loves them too. For sure, Real Madrid, if at any point, maybe in 2027 or any other moment, there is a door open for them, Real Madrid would be excited by the possibility to try. But as of today, Real Madrid are focusing their effort and their potential record bid on Tuesday on Michael Olise. Again, it's going to be very important to see how Bayern react to this, but also how the player reacts to this. Because the player side with Olise is always very quiet. You probably remember when he joined Bayern was out of nowhere. Chelsea were very close to getting the deal done. There was a release clause at Palace. Behind the scenes, Bayern entered, very silent in the media, and also on player side, very silent on Olise's side, and then Bayern signed Michael Olise. So let's see what's going to happen now on player side, on club side, but for sure, the big story happening. Real Madrid. Record beat. And so guys, let me your thoughts on all these stories, Michael Olise, Real Madrid, but also on Vitinha, João Neves and all the rest. I'm curious to know your opinion on this big bomba on the market. Guys, let me know your point of view here. As always, remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. We are here every day, and see you soon. Ciao.